Hey guys, it's Lava Dude, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than what we traditionally do, because today we're going to be looking at the Marvel King in Black Planet of the Symbiotes comic book issue number 3. Now, the cool thing about these is I did talk to the guys at my local comic book store, and they told me that these don't have a specific order. They're kind of standalone. Although they do have issues, you can read and join in at any time you want. Quick disclaimer, this is meant for audiences T+, so just know that going ahead. So here's the cover on the front. You got Cloak and Dagger, and then there's also Toxin in this issue. So without further ado, let's get into this and break down this comic book. So just a quick breakdown, if you didn't know this already, Null is the king of the symbiotes. He owns them, he rules them, and he's coming down to Earth and bringing all the symbiotes. So we start off with Dagger giving this long intro about how darkness and pain is coming with Null, and how this ties into Cloak. Because now that Null has all this darkness from the symbiotes, it's making Cloak sort of evil, and he can't really control it. Next, Cloak just literally disappears on her in the middle of a conversation, and he fights some bad guys, and then this is the interesting part, because he makes them go through all the fear and pain and torment that they've had in their lives. Pretty evil. Then Officer Dasha Denton shows up, and she's like, hey, you're Cloak and Dagger? And then she's like, okay, yeah, we got a situation with some robbers trying to rob a bank. Then Cloak shows up, throws these guys in his hood, and then you find a bunch of like symbiote darkness creatures just in his thing. It's weird, it's really creepy, and then they just like eat them alive. And then we get this like cute little sob story where it's like, oh yeah, there is no hope, and then Dagger's like, oh yeah, you can find hope in me, and then she hugs him, which is weird because he literally just like almost murdered people, and then for some reason these darkness things just like evaporate, because apparently Dagger just has the ability to evaporate darkness. What? And then we finish with Cloak and Dagger just being like, whatever happens, we're going to do it together. So this comic book was pretty cool, this first half was, except for the fact that it did kind of feel like a soap opera, but then he was also murdering people at the same time. Questionable. So we kick off the next part of this comic book with a Brood hybrid lab subject guy escaping, and you got the cops coming after him, and of course, he's kicking butt. Then, of course, your boy Toxin arrives, and of course, the symbiote is disagreeing and arguing with the host, because that's just how they are, and they're getting ready to go into this fight. We then get this dope action scene where Toxin is just kicking this Brood guy's butt. At some point, he even, like, throws his symbiote into his head. Fatality. Next, Brood Boy explains that he's actually a test subject, and they use Brood bone marrow to put that into him, and he's actually a human. Then this guy named Guardsman shows up. He's part of the Alchemic Security, the lab people, and he shows up and he just kicks Toxin's butt, and Toxin realizes, yeah, we're in for some trouble here. After Guardsman shoots out this big beam of light, Toxin is thankfully able to escape, and so is Brood Boy. Then Bren, who is the host for the symbiote, is kind of just talking to Toxin for a while. He gets home, he goes to check on his dad, and plot twist, his dad is the Guardsman. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, and of course if you haven't already and you want to see more of this, subscribe. If this gets a lot of support, then we will definitely try and do more stuff like this. So I'll see you guys in the next one.